Okay, so starting our practice this evening in Supta Konasana, you can take a reclined position. If you would like to slightly elevate your spine, feel free to use a yoga bolster or cushion if you have one, or you can certainly lie flat on the back. And the position for Supta Konasana is soles of the feet together and knees out to the side. So give that a try. But once you get there, you might find that if the hips are a little tight or compromised in any way, it might feel like too much. And if that's the case, that's okay. There's other things that you can do. You could have the feet flat on the floor with the knees pointing up towards the ceiling, which is a very neutral position, probably the least amount of sensation. But you could also just have the legs extended Shavasana style if, for some reason you're feeling or start to feel too much tension on the hips. But if you are feeling good in your reclined bound angle pose, then you can begin to soften the knees down towards the floor. Just gently resting the soles of the feet together, kind of like they're praying. And then allow the glutes, the hip muscles, the belly, all the muscles that kind of come into the pelvis. See if you can take a deep breath into that space. You feel the belly rise. And then as you exhale, see if you can soften all of that down towards the floor. Big exhalation out through the mouth. And try that 2 more times. And each time that you breathe out, see if you can soften about 50% more. Just feeling that releasing sensation in hips and thighs, knees heavy towards the earth, softening the space of the pelvic bowl, the buttocks. And once you have completed those 3 big breaths in and out, let the breath settle into just a natural rhythm without any control whatsoever. Just letting the breath settle into its own natural rhythm and flow. In this moment, surrender the need to control anything in the breath and simply just witness the body breathing. When you cultivate this space of the witness, you're tapping into your natural wisdom and intellect. And you're cultivating a spacious awareness that's not attached to something from an exterior source. Simply observing body and breath. You can even observe thoughts and emotions from the space of the witness. And the challenge is not to become attached or distracted by any story of what's happening in your body or in your breath. Not getting caught up in the story or drama behind any emotion or thought, but simply observing. In the space of this natural intellect, spacious awareness is compassionate, loving, and kind. Spacious awareness simply observes the body breathing. Take a few moments to observe the space that your body takes up. Feeling your body in the space around you. Feeling the sensations of clothing on your skin, or the temperature of the air as it touches the arms if they're exposed, the hands and the feet, the face. An observer of all of these experiences of the body, of the breath, of the mind. And now beginning to control your breathing, but taking that slow and easy, you're going to begin with an inhale to a count of 3. And an exhale to a count of 6, making that exhalation twice as long. And the inhalation, your count of 3, fills you up. And on your exhalation, your count of 6 empties you back out. If this feels comfortable in your body, you can begin to extend the count, inhaling to 4. And exhaling to 8. So you can see the pattern becomes a 1-to-2 ratio style of breathing, making the exhalation twice as long as your inhalation. Breathing into your count of 4 and exhaling to your count of 8. And if this is feeling comfortable in your body, take one more extension. That's completely up to you. Let this remain peaceful and easy in the body. But if it remains peaceful and easy, extending now inhalation to your count of 5. And on exhalation, your count of 10, making the exhale twice as long. And when you start to elevate the count to 5 and 10, you're getting a very long, spacious, and cleansing exhalation. You might feel a slight contraction of pelvic floor and lower abdominal muscles that will help to assist the breath's exit. That exhalation becomes a place of strength as well as a place to empty yourself out completely. Gentle strength. If this feels too challenging in any way, you can always go down to one of your lower counts, keeping that sensation of breath peaceful and easy in the body. Just a few more moments here, and you may be noticing already the effects of this breathing is an unwinding of body, unwinding of breath, unwinding of mind. And the nervous system begins to transition from that more active part of the sympathetic to the more passive, healing, resting part of the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest state. Taking one more round, inhaling to your count of 5. And exhaling, taking your time to your count of 10. And once you are complete, you'll take one more of those cleansing breaths, big full inhalation. Open mouth exhalation, sigh it out. And taking your time, moving very slowly, bringing hands to outsides of knees, squeezing the knees together, they're out to the side. Placing the soles of the feet on the floor and allowing the knees to be in that neutral position. And from there, bringing the heels in close to the bottom, like for bridge pose. And you're going to begin a sequence of dynamic bridge. So with the arms alongside to start, on your inhalation, you're going to lift the hips up and the arms up, follow along with you. And the inhale will lift the hips up, arms will come all the way up and overhead until the backs of your hands touch the floor behind you. That will be your inhalation. And on your exhalation, you'll lower down one vertebra at a time, taking your time. So moving slowly with the breath. As you continue to move, you'll find your range of motion improves. Maybe the hips lift a little bit higher. The next time that you come down, take a moment to pause just for some instruction. So you're going to be taking 4 more rounds, and what you're going to be working on is now an even length inhalation and exhalation. You got some information about what feels comfortable for breath in your body. So if that inhalation to a count of 5 felt comfortable, you can go ahead and start right there. So what I'm saying is that on inhalation, you're going to lift your hips and your arms up and overhead to a count of 5. You want to try to make that happen all at the same time. And then the exhalation, you'll lower down, count of 5. So now we're working on an equal length inhalation and exhalation like this. As you inhale, hips lift, arms lift to your count. It could be 3, 4, or 5. And on your exhalation, matching that with an equal length exhalation as you lower back down. Now the mind exercise is to get the body and the arms to lift together with the breath, all completing on that count of your inhalation. And as you lower down, bottom and hands come to the floor at the same time, matching that count of breath. So it almost becomes more of a mind exercise than a body exercise. And so you're taking a total of 4 rounds. Take your time. And when you're complete, you'll come to rest on the floor, squeeze the knees into the belly, but take your time. If you're still working on your count, squeeze the knees into the belly, wrap your arms around the shins. And now you're going to be doing a similar thing. As you inhale, the legs will straighten up towards the ceiling and the arms will reach up and overhead. Use the same count you were working on with bridge pose. Exhalation, hugging in. Inhalation, legs lift, arms come up and overhead. And on your exhalation, folding in, hugging in, a little squeeze of the shins. Continuing 4 more rounds. When you're complete, take all the time that you need, bringing the knees back in towards the belly, give yourself a nice squeeze. And then gently resist trying to push your toes away, like you're trying to put your toes on the floor, but keep the arms hugging around the shins. So that's going to be your inhalation as you stretch the toes away. And on your exhalation, rocking back down, sink the belly, knees hug into the chest. Inhale, push the knees away as you resist hugging in. And on the exhalation, soften, knees back towards the belly. So this is really great for working on the hip flexor strength. And for releasing tension in the lower back, just do that a few more times. It's a little bit of a rocking action, and it's a subtle movement. Hugging in, squeezing in. We'll do that one more time. And put your feet back down on the floor. Bring the heels in close to the bottom, hips width apart for a full bridge pose. Lifting the hips up, walking the shoulders underneath the back. Interlace your fingers. And then walk the shoulders under again so you're high on the tips of the shoulder blades, lifting the hips nice and high. And now using your breath to inflate belly and chest, with the breath all the way up and underneath the collarbones. That's your inhalation. And as you exhale from that place of strength, feeling some contraction of pelvic floor and lower abdominal muscles. So you're holding this bridge pose now in a static position and using your breath to create more space. The inhalation inflates and lifts the chest. The exhalation coming from a place of strength. Try to slightly push into the balls of your feet like you're trying to move your toes towards the edge of your mat, but the feet don't move. And you're going to feel the quadricep muscles lengthen, but also contract. You're going to take one final breath here. And then when you're ready, separate the fingers, rolling yourself down. One more time, knees come into the belly. Rock a little, or you can circle the knees, just loosening lower back, hips, and spine. And then you're going to be working on a spinal twist. It's just nice and simple, nice and easy. Arms out to the side, take a breath in. And as you exhale, lower knees to the right. Softening your left shoulder down to the floor, gently turning the left head away from the knees if that feels good on the neck. If you turn your head, bring your head center, and then inhale the knees center. On your exhalation, knees go left, and the option to turn the head to the right. If you turn your head, bring the head back to center, knees come center, and then you can take your hands behind your knees, start to rock forward and backward on the spine like a ball. Just rock a couple times, massaging out the spine. And you can rock right up to seated. And from here, you're gonna roll right over the tops of your knees, onto hands and knees, taking an all fours position. And from the all fours position, just start to make a half circle with the head. So the chin will lower down towards the chest, and then right ear to right shoulder, and circling down, left ear to left shoulder. Just a nice, easy release for the head and the neck. And if your head and neck is feeling good, you can circle that gently all the way around in one direction. Do that 2 or 3 times. And changing directions, go the opposite side or opposite direction an equal number of times. On back to center, take a little bit of movement through the rib cage. And moving back to center, taking a few rounds of cat and cow, just loosening up rib cage, spine, shoulders and chest, feeling space between the shoulder blades. Space in the sacrum. Good. All right, now come to stand on your knees, reaching the arms up, big breath. And bring the knees a little closer together because you're going to be releasing back to child's pose. So the pattern is like this. Inhalation, rising up. On exhalation, folding forward, bringing the hands to the lower back and forehead down to the floor. Good. Inhaling, reaching up. And exhale, lowering down. Now, if you happen to be pregnant, this can be a little bit challenging. So the position would be rising up and coming to hero's pose, hands at the lower back, just so that you have a little bit more space for your belly. So taking one of those two and taking 4 more rounds. When you are complete, you can go into a full fold in your child's pose. Hands can either remain at the lower back, which can feel very good for opening up across the chest and the shoulders, or any other position for the arms. They could be alongside with the palms facing up, or they could be reaching forward with the palms facing down. Make sure that the child's pose that you choose feels best for your body in this moment. The breath begin to slow down. And then taking a bigger breath in, nice and full, breathing in deep. Exhale, sighing out, letting go, get nice and heavy into the earth. Do that 2 more times, filling yourself up and emptying yourself out. Last time, filling yourself with this beautiful breath, and on exhalation, letting something release down into the earth, whatever you need to let go, let something go. And then bringing the arms forward if they're not already there, coming to hands and knees, curling the toes under, lifting the hips up and back for your first downward facing dog. Once you're in your dog pose, then start to pedal out through the feet, the knees, just opening up the backs of your legs. Any movement that feels good, you might prefer crossing one knee over to the side and center, and doing the same on the opposite. Just creating a little bit of space, feet, ankles, calves, knees, and thighs. Once you do feel ready for stillness, come back to center, really settling into downward facing dog in static position. Soften the knees so that the chest can move closer to the thighs. Wrapping the shoulders away from the ears, getting broad across the upper back. What about the tailbone stretching up towards the ceiling? You can help to emphasize that feeling by coming high on your tippy toes and lifting the tailbone up like somebody has a string, lifting your hips. Legs are straight now, high on the balls of the feet. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, soften the heels down towards the ground. Just see how that feels for your calves, your hamstrings. And if you lose a lot of space in your upper back and that starts to round, then rebend the knees and soften the knees so that you get more space in your upper back. And from here, extend the right leg long and straight. For this variation, point your toe and really lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. You're gonna feel the front side of your leg really lengthening your hip flexors. Breathe in, reach high. And on your exhalation, take a big step forward for a runner's lunge. So you're gonna get the hips a little bit lower down towards the ground. Lots of length here in the legs. Lengthening through the crown of the head. And breathe the length of your spine. You're going to push off of the ball of your back foot and step the left foot to meet the right. Inhaling to a half flat back, hands can come to shins. Exhaling into your fold. Do that 2 more times. Inhaling and lengthening. And exhale, softening, folding in. Remember that you want belly to meet thighs. So if you need a soft bend in the knees as you fold forward, rounding in. And the next time that you come to a flat back, reach on up, Urdhva Hastasana, upward salute. Big breath. And on your exhalation, take a moment to touch hands to heart center, tapping into that resonance of heart, pressing down into the soles of the feet so the legs feel strong. Lengthening through the crown of your head so your spine feels long. On your next inhalation, sweep the arms up and overhead. And diving forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhalation, Ardha Uttanasana. And then put your hands down on the ground and start to walk them forward until you find yourself in downward facing dog. And one more time, come up high on the tippy toes, stretching the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Really getting long, big breath. As you exhale, soften the heels down towards the floor. Now lengthening the left leg, you're going to point the toe, try to get really long on the front side of your leg. So you're really lengthening as the toe reaches towards the ceiling. Big inhalation as you lift, and on the exhalation, use the strength of your abdominals for that big step into your runner's lunge. You're high on the ball of the back foot. That back heel is pointing up towards the ceiling and long through the spine. Close your eyes if you can and think about breathing the length of your spine. The inhalation energy flows up that center channel. On the exhalation, energy flows back down. Find strength at your root. Everything strong, tighten up the belly, push off the ball of the back foot, stepping up, finding your half flat back, lengthen. On the exhalation, fold. Rising to the half flat back, reaching up, upward salute, big breath. As you exhale, Samasthiti, hands to heart center. And then finding Tadasana, mountain pose, pressing down into the soles of the feet. And tapping into a little bit of breath and balance. And going back to that mind exercise. On your inhalation, you're going to bring the arms up in front, lift up to the toes, lifting the arms up and overhead. And as you exhale, heels down, arms down. And you're going to find your count. Inhaling maybe to a count of 3, 4, or 5 as you lift up. And trying to match that lowering of heels and hands as you exhale, matching that count. So it's an equal length breath. Continuing 4 more times. A little bit more challenging to make that match than it is in bridge pose. So just do your best. Seeing what you can find. Trying to create that equal release of hands and heels at the same time that you release the breath. Okay. Continuing until you complete your 4 rounds. Breathing in. Breathing out. And if you have one more, completing that now. Lifting up. And softening down. Good. On your next inhale, reaching the arms up and overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhalation takes you into Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen. On your exhalation, walk your hands forward, finding your downward facing dog. And take an inhalation as you stretch back. On your exhalation, sigh out the mouth. Next, inhale forward to plank. Draw the belly in and up. Use the strength in your legs. Really broaden across the upper back. And if your shoulders feel ready, moving into Vasisthasana. But if you need to drop a knee, the modification would be lowering a knee down to the ground. So you're either in full side plank or modified side plank, reaching up through the side waist, and then bring the arm up and overhead. And just do that a few times. Reaching the arm up and coming up and overhead. When you come up and overhead, really arc through the side waist. Breathing up and reaching out. And the next time that you come up, stay there. Come back to your plank position. Even out. Steady the breath. And then opposite side, either lowering the knee for a little bit more support or staying in full side plank. Once you've established that high arc through the side waist, reaching the arm out and overhead, and then sweeping back up. Good. And just take a few more rounds. Each time that you reach forward, arc higher through the side waist. And last time. And this time, come back to center, evening yourself out. Really push the floor away, take a big inhale. As you exhale, lower knees, chest and chin. Scooping through cobra. And softening down, curling the toes, pressing back, downward facing dog. Then on your inhalation, lifting right leg, point the toe, bending at the knee and stack the hip so you feel the opening in the outer right hip. Sweeping knee to nose, hover. And then planting right foot between the hands. Drop your back foot flat. You're going to be coming up into warrior one pose. So tightening up the belly, feeling the strength as you reach the arms forward, rotating at the pelvis, and sweeping the arms up, Virabhadrasana one. Good. Working on some dynamic movement here. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, sweeping down. Then you're gonna work on finding an inhalation. So you take your count, 3, 4, or 5. Exhalation matches the length of the inhalation. It's equal length in breath, inhaling up. And exhaling down. Take your time. Right, this is slow, steady movement. You're creating that space of awareness, of the witness, as you watch yourself flow up and down. One more time. Hands come down. And bringing the hands on the inside of the right foot. Maybe create a little bit more space by heel toe. And then lift the back heel. You're going to need to wiggle back, more like in that runner style lunge. So you're high on the ball of the back foot. Palms are on the floor. This is position for lizard pose. Heel can stay lifted. I should say back heel can stay lifted, lowering to the forearms. Or you can also bring the back knee down for a little bit more relaxed sensation in the pose. Both positions offer great opening for outer right hip. And start to walk yourself back up. And now frame the front foot. That'll give you the perfect position to step back for plank. Then taking Vasisthasana side plank pose, reaching up with the left, arm out and overhead. Reaching up, coming back to center. And then evening yourself out, big breath in, either lowering Ashtanga Namaskar, knees, chest, chin, or if you're ready, take full Chaturanga. Transition into Cobra or upward facing dog, and pressing back, downward facing dog. Once you're in your down dog, take a big breath in. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. And extending up to the left leg. You're going to point the toe, get nice and long, and then bending at the knee and stack your hip. And still in that big opening now through your left side hip. Sweeping up knee to nose. Take a moment to hover so you really feel that inner strength. And then left foot between the hands, back foot flat. So finding that position for your warrior one feet. Reach the arms forward, rotate at the pelvis, and sweep on up. You're long in the lower back. Deep bend in the front knee. Breathing in. And as you exhale, soften the hands down towards the floor. Continuing to flow, find an equal length in inhalation and exhalation. You take your count, and just make sure that the breaths are equal in length. Really concentrate here on creating these smooth transitions, cultivating a space of spacious awareness. The next time that you come down, you can stay, creating a little bit more space. Wiggle the left foot over to the left. Lift the back heel, wiggle back so you're in a longer stance. Right heel is lifting towards the ceiling. And then choosing your position for lizard pose. Either place the back knee down, or you can keep the back knee lifted, and then bringing the forearms down to the ground. Soften through your head, neck, and shoulders, and breathe. Begin to walk yourself back up, framing the front foot with the hands. Lifting the back knee if you lowered, and then step back for plank pose. Vasisthasana, left side, left hand plants, and reaching up through the right arm, arcing up, sweeping the arm up and overhead. Reaching back up, and coming through center, even yourself out. And find your transition, either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Transitioning to cobra or up dog. And pressing back, downward facing dog. A nice big inhale as you stretch on back. And then looking forward, you can either step or hop your feet to your hands. Inhaling, lengthen. Exhale and fold. Rising up, big breath. And exhaling, hands to heart, samasthiti. Feeling that energy of hands to heart center. Let the heart resonate its energy out through the arms and the hands. And lowering arms by the sides for mountain pose, Tadasana, strong through the feet. Press down into the earth. Feel the legs strengthen. Lengthening to the back of the neck as the crown of the head reaches up towards the ceiling so the spine lengthens. Good. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, diving forward. Half flat back. Planting the hands, step or float back to plank, going through your flow, your transition, meeting in downward facing dog. Once you're in dog pose, take a cleansing breath, breathing in. Sighing out, you can stick the tongue out, lion's breath, clearing, releasing. Reaching the right leg long and straight, bending at the knee and stacking the hip. Really open up through the pelvis, right knee towards the ceiling. And then sweeping forward, hover. Right foot between the hands. This time, drop the back foot flat. You're setting up for Virabhadrasana 2. So like you're standing on a tightrope, and then circle the arms up. A nice deep bend in the front knee. Reaching out, strong through the arms. Long through the tail, front knee is tracking straight down the middle of the foot. Gaze strongly over the front fingertips and breathe. And creating some dynamic movement. On the inhalation, the front leg straightens and the arms reach up. Turn your head to look straight forward. And then as you exhale, pressing down strongly through the arms, if you're pushing through water, and turn the head now to gaze out over the front fingertips. Continue to flow. Inhale, straightening front leg, turning the head. And as you exhale, pressing the arms strongly down, feeling that strengthening action through the arms. And continue to follow your breath. And starting to add a longer count, making the inhales and the exhales match, and making the breath and the movement match. Concentrating, focusing your awareness on the breath and the movement. And the next time that you come into warrior two, stay, and then press your front leg to straight. Good. You can bring the left hand to rest on the left thigh, and then you're going to reach your front arm forward, bring the hand down like Trikonasana, fingertips to the floor or the shin. Good. Really long through the side waist. And now reach the right arm forward, reaching back up. You can arc just a little bit back. We're not going in a full backward reach, but just lengthening through those side ribs. So that's what we're going to be working on here. Inhaling, stretching out, reaching out, bringing fingertips down to the floor. Good, really long through the side waist. And then reaching the right arm forward before you come on up. Get that little slight arc back and continue. Take one more. Reaching out and then coming up. Good. And now you're going to stretch the right arm straight out at shoulder height and bring the left arm to also stretch out at shoulder height. Reaching forward for Trikonasana. This time you stay. Left arm reaches up and then over. Good. And you're gonna hold here, breathing, and each exhalation, see if you can rotate just a little bit through the belly center, opening up the heart towards the ceiling. And now inhale, left arm up. And then reaching it out shoulder height. See if you can reach out shoulder height, right arm, up, and a little arcing back. Good. Come back, bring hands to hips. Just bend the front knee a little bit so you soften a bit at the knee and the hamstrings, and then turning the right toes in so you parallel the feet. Good. So feet parallel, pressing into the outside edges of the feet, reaching the arms up to shoulder height. Inhale, lifting up through the chest. And on your exhale, folding forward. You can reach for the ankles or the hands can come to floor or blocks. And then softening as much as you can, forehead towards the floor. Once you're down there, breathe. Find the hands on the floor in front of your face and make your way to a flat back position. You're going to press into the right palm, make the right arm really straight as you suck the belly in and up. And then keeping the hips stable as you rotate left arm to the ceiling for a spinal twist. One more breath. Bringing the left hand down. You're going to bring your hands to your hips, lifting the spine now up to straight. And just heel toe the feet in a little bit so you're not quite as deep. And then turning the right toes in and the left toes out, coming into that warrior two position. So now you're turning towards the back of your mat. And from here, finding that dynamic movement. But first, perfect your warrior two. Get nice and deep in the pose, strong press of the arms out from the shoulders, gazing out over the front fingertips. And then beginning to flow with the breath. Inhaling, reaching up, and exhale, pressing back down nice and strong. Continuing. Pressing the front leg to straight as the arms sweep up and the head turns. And as you exhale, pressing down through the arms, turning the head towards the front fingertips. Take it one more time. And once you're in warrior two, stay there with the arms out at shoulder height and then press the front leg to straight. Bringing the right hand now down towards the right thigh. And reaching the left arm up, give a little bit of an arc back. Good. And then reaching the arm straight out at shoulder height, reaching forward, bringing the hand down to the floor. Good, really strong in the legs as you reach the right arm up, the body stays long, and then sweeping up, a little bit of a lean back. Good, continuing to flow. Arm out at shoulder height, reach forward and lower. Body stays down as the left arm reaches, and then up and a little back. So really working on strengthening the legs here. I'm sure you can feel that. Sweeping forward and down, maintaining Trikonasana as the left arm reaches, and then up and sweeping back. And do that one more time. And the next time that you come down, you're going to stay reaching the right arm up and then out and overhead. And then stay here and breathe. Now you're in a static position with the right arm sweeping overhead, and you're going to try and deepen the rotation of the spine, the belly, the chest with each exhalation. And now reaching that top arm up, and then reaching out at shoulder height, both arms, and then come on up. Give a little bit of a lean back. And bringing hands to hips, turning those left toes in. And so the feet are parallel, hands behind the back. You're going to inhale and lift the chest. On the exhale, deep forward fold. Crown of the head towards the floor, and then the arms release up and overhead. Bring the hands down to the floor. Press into the palms and into your flat back position. Really keeping the left hand there in front of the face, pressing firmly, really press away from the floor, suck the belly in and up. Keep the hips really stable as you rotate the right arm up to the ceiling for spinal twist. Big breath in, and then bringing that extended arm back down to the ground. Go into your full forward fold. Just going as deep as you can, taking a few more breaths in that deep fold. Now lifting to your flat back, Start to walk the hands around towards the front of your mat, turning the right toes to face forward. Go deep into your runner's lunge. Setting up for lizard pose, heel toe the right foot a little bit over to the right, bringing the forearms down to the ground. Maybe you find a little bit more space to go deeper. Really release crown of head down towards the floor. And coming back up to the palms. If the back knee is lifted, lowering down now, turning the right toes out and creating a spinal twist. Option to reach for the back foot, bending at the left knee if you want to deepen the twist and get a little bit of a quadricep stretch. Just listen to your body. And then unwind back to center. And frame the front foot with the hands, lift the back knee. And now listening for the cue, you're gonna press down into the left hand, step the right foot back for Spacious, reaching up. And so you can sweep the top arm overhead and maybe you'd like to try lifting the top leg. So just playing around, whenever you like. You can try the tree pose variation, bringing the big toe to the inner thigh and sweeping up. Once you're ready to release, come back to center, finding plank pose. And then pressing back, downward facing dog. Inhaling into your dog pose, exhale out through the mouth. Inhale forward to plank, and then lowering through your vinyasa. And stepping the left foot forward. Nice big step for runner's lunge. And then creating that heel toe so that you have the hands inside the left foot. Taking lizard pose on the left side, bringing the forearms down to the floor. Remember the back knee can stay lifted or lower down. Really surrender head, neck, and shoulders. Walking back up to the palms. If the back knee is lifted, lower it down. And then creating that twist by turning the left toes out. Left hand to the left thigh and rotate the shoulders. Option for that reach back for right ankle. Releasing if you're holding the ankle, and then heel toe to frame the front foot. So lifting the back knee, and then stepping back with this left foot to Spacious, finding your place to play. When you're ready, releasing back to plank pose. You can find a more comfortable position. If you have anything that obstructs you from laying flat on your belly, by either coming to a reclined position on your back, maybe with something under the spine, and just taking Konasana, or any other position that feels good. I'll be here on the belly for just a few moments. Turning the toes out, making the pillow with the hands, forehead rests on top of the hands. And take a few moments to even out the breath. You're working hard and the breath might be a little bit elevated, so smooth it out a bit. So we're doing some back bending, and that's going to take the breath rhythm back up again. So smooth out first. So if you need an alternate position from lying on your belly, taking bridge pose, full bridge pose would be a great way to get in that upper back extension without having to be on your belly. And if you are on the belly, zip the legs up. Reach back with the fingertips. Now we've done a lot of shoulder warming, so you should feel ready to interlace the fingers. But if not, just keep the palms open by the thighs. Press down into the tops of the feet and stretch the knuckles back. Keep the neck long so the gaze is slightly out in front of your mat. And then peeling the shoulders away from the floor. Feeling lots of extension in the upper part of your spine. If this is feeling okay here, lift the feet, get a little higher. So everything on the backside body can be lifting. Using all those strong muscles to lift the legs off the floor and lift the chest and shoulders. One more inhalation. And as you exhale, soften everything back down. Turn your head to the right. You can have the arms alongside, or you can return to making that pillow. Bringing the head back to center. And zipping the legs up so that now the knees are right at hips width. Reaching back for feet or ankles, preparing for Dhanurasana bow pose. So you're going to use that whole backside body as you press ankles into hands to lift the front side of your body. Toes are nice and high towards the ceiling. As you're breathing, you might find that you start to rock a little bit here. Lifting everything up, chest is opening, toes are lifting up towards the ceiling, and continue to breathe. And one more breath, really lift up high, and lowering all the way back down. You're going to turn your toes out, make a pillow with your hands, and soften everything down towards the floor so the lower back can rest. Likely you're feeling an elevation in heart rate and breath rate. Now bring the head back to center, rest the forehead on top of the hands, and work on smoothing and evening the breath. Very slowly, begin to lift the head, zip the legs up, hands come back by the chest, and pressing yourself up to the knees. Now you're going to step back into a plank, and this plank, really the intention is to reset lower back muscles. So as you step back, you're going to really suck the belly in and up. That's going to hollow out the space of the belly and lengthen lower back muscles. The hips are dropping down a little bit lower than you normally would, but then you're arcing up high and strong to the belly center. And now slowly press back to downward facing dog, pedal out the feet. And then on your inhalation, stretching back. On your exhalation, step or float your feet to your hands. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and fold. Do that a few times, this dynamic movement. Checking in with the lower back, making sure that the knees are soft if you're feeling any tension there.
And then separate the feet to about hips distance. Bend the knees quite a bit, hanging forward like rag doll. Take a hold of the opposite elbows and sway a little bit here, side to side. Just swaying out, softening your ribs, softening your head, neck, and shoulders. And then come back to center, even deeper bend in the knees and hollow out the pit of the belly as you roll yourself up one vertebra at a time.
Once you get to the top, roll your shoulders, standing firm into your mat, pressing down into the feet. Arms will come alongside into Tadasana mountain pose. Feel the length through the spine, the crown of the head, and experience yourself as standing tall. We're going to be working on some balancing. So bringing the weight really more firmly into the left side foot, and then raising the knee, bringing the knee up to hips height and giving a little hug here into knee to belly. So this is Asta Padangusthasana. You're going to bring the left hand to the hip, possibly reaching for the big toe. Now we did a lot of hamstring opening in those triangle sequences, so maybe you can extend the leg straight out in front with the shoulder down and back. If that's not the case, you could hold here at the knee, or you could even have a bend in the knee. We'll be taking the leg or knee out to the side. And really trying to lift up and out of the standing leg. So you're not getting so heavy, but you still have that lift, like you're pressing down into the floor like mountain pose. Option to open the left arm out to the side. And if you want to challenge your balance a little bit more, you could turn your head to look at the left thumb. But if you turn your head, bring it back to center. And the transition here is to Vrksasana tree pose. So bringing now the right foot into the left inner thigh. And even though you're pressing down into the left foot, lift up and out of that standing leg so it doesn't get too heavy. And taking any variation for your arms that you would like in your tree pose. Bring the hands slowly back to heart center. And lifting the knee. And bringing the right foot down to the ground. And now just take a moment here because you're going to feel a lot of sensation in the left leg. To just let that soften. And now taking the opposite side. So bringing the weight into the right foot and hugging left knee into belly. Give yourself a nice squeeze. Lifting up and out of that right side leg. And bringing right hand to right hip. And the left peace fingers to the left big toe, possibly, or use the variation that works for you. Extending the leg out, but you want that left shoulder to stay soft, relaxed, and down away from the ear. And opening whatever will open out to the side. And once you have your steadiness, you have the option to extend. I'm blocked a little bit here by the window, so I'm going to make a different shape this time. And then if you like, you can try turning the head. When you bring the head back to center, the transition is going to be to tree pose, bringing the left foot into the right thigh, hands come together. Think about lifting the pelvis away from the floor, Mula Bandha. And taking any variation that you like. It can be the same as the first side, you could try something different. Slowly bringing hands back to heart center. Knee lifts. And the left foot comes down to the floor. And once you even out through the feet, just enjoy that wonderful feeling of releasing the sensation from the right leg. Feeling both feet strong and steady on the earth. Standing tall. The arms coming forward, inhale, lifting up to the toes. And exhale, lowering heels, lowering arms. Do that 3 more times. Working and doing your best to make that match. Very challenging, but just find your breath and rhythm. And seeing yourself here as this spacious awareness, just observing this body moving, this breath flowing. Last time. And as you come back down this time, leave the arms out at shoulder height. You're going to be lifting up onto the balls of your feet like this. And then just play with this. So you might not come all the way down, but you may be able to slowly begin to lower down, bringing the seat to the heels, balancing here on the balls of the feet. Maybe your hands might come to the floor first, or you may just come to easy seat. Shaking is good, just trying to find that balance. And then you can lower the heels down, lower the seat down. Everyone now coming to easy seat. I'm trying to observe how that experience was for you. As if you could step out of your body, as if a friend were observing your body, your breath, and your thoughts, and just witnessing them. If that felt challenging and the emotions are high, can you simply observe without becoming attached to the story? Just allowing this part of you at a spacious awareness to observe the experiences with compassion, with love, body, mind, and breath. The space of the witness, observe the breath beginning to slow down and smooth back out. Take your time. In the left leg tucked in, cross the right leg on top. Then wrapping the left arm around the right shin, you're going to use the right hand to rotate torso around right thigh, coming into seated spinal twist. So opening up across chest and shoulders. You can hold this position, which is a nice supported system with the arm wrapped around the shin, or you could bring the left arm across. That helps you to get a little bit more lift and rotation, but don't strain to get there. Once you are there, head is turning towards right shoulder. Eyes are turning up to the midbrain. So lift them a little bit, very softly. Lift them a little bit more, a little higher, and a little bit more in towards the midbrain. There's a mudra that you can work on here called Kachari Mudra, bringing the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth. Slide it back towards the soft palate, and then breathing deep in your twist with your tongue resting on the roof of the mouth. Let that be a direct line of sensation From the tip of the tongue resting on the soft palate up to the exact spot where your eyes are gazing at the midbrain. Relaxing the tongue back down into the mouth. On your next inhale, unwind back to center. Just pause there, center, for a moment. Breathe. And now sliding your left foot a little bit more forward, stacking at the knees. Coming into this deep hip stretch. It's a variation of cow face pose. We've got a lot of stretching in for the shoulders, so if you would like to take the position for the arms, that looks like left fingertips to the left shoulder blade. You can give a little stretch here. The right arm wraps around and you work towards getting the clasp. If you just want to focus on that stretch in the hips, you can bring the hands around at heart center, sitting tall. So find the variation, either the full pose or the modification, and then breathe for a moment. Maybe you can find a little bit of a forward fold here, softening belly towards the right thigh, chest towards the right knee, deepening the sensation of stretch in the hips. If you have the arms in the bind, that can be very intense, so breathe or release the bind if you feel too much sensation in the shoulders. Slowly begin to come back up, separate the hands if you have the bind, separate. And then just lean back and uncross the legs. Take the feet as wide as your mat and rocking the knees side to side. Just windshield wipering a little bit here to soften up the hips. And come on back to center and taking the opposite side twist. So right leg goes on the bottom, left leg on top. And finding the evenness in your sitting bones before you begin to wrap and twist. You might want to play with this arm position, just pressing the right tricep into the left thigh for a little bit of leverage to rotate deeper, but not if it creates strain. You want to be easy here in your twist and concentrate on this electric energy, but very soft, as the tip of the tongue meets the soft palate. Taking the mudra, rolling the eyes up to the space of the midbrain, and breathe. Softening the tongue back down into the mouth. And on your next inhale, rotate head, and then the body will follow. Just taking a moment to pause here and breathe. And now wiggling the bottom foot. It's the right foot, so it comes a little farther forward, stacking the knees. Try to have the feet be even and then the sitting bones be even. That can be challenging on the hips, so just find your space. And then decide if you'd like to work on the clasp of the hands. So that would look like the right fingertips
Coming to the right shoulder blade, you can give that little extra stretch here with the left hand before you wrap around and working on the clasp. But remember, you could always have the hands at heart center if that shoulder stretching portion does not work well for you. And just find long, smooth breaths in and out. Once you spend a few moments here breathing, you might like to deepen into the forward fold, bringing the belly closer to the left thigh, chest closer to the left knee. Very slowly beginning to rise back up. And if you have the clasp, separate. If you have the hands at the heart, just bringing the palms now down to the floor, lean back so you can easily unwind. Feet come to the edges of the mat and then taking the windshield wipers. Returning back to center and then lowering yourself down onto your back. Once you're done on your back, have the soles of the feet on the floor, knees pointing up towards the ceiling in position for bridge pose. We're going to be working on a special variation of bridge, and this one is going to have elements of that dynamic bridge we were working on earlier, plus some breath retention. So we'll be working on I'm going to walk you through it now. So let's just take a practice round. So you're going to inhale, lift the hips, reach the arms up and overhead. Once you're there, you're going to exhale all of your breath out. Once you empty, you're not breathing. You're going to be squeezing, contracting the muscles of the pelvic floor, scooping the belly in and up. The chin is already towards the chest. So that is your chin lock, your belly lock, and your root lock. Now, we're just practicing right now. So when we're doing it, once you're here, you won't be breathing. You're going to start to lower the spine down to the ground by holding these bandhas. Once the tailbone hits the floor, you're still not breathing. The arms will come alongside, and then you'll release all of those bandhas. It's going to feel so good to breathe in. You're going to fill yourself and empty yourself of breath several times before you begin another round. Now again, remember, if you have any reason that you don't want to be contracting abdominally right now, that you could just be taking dynamic bridge, inhaling up and exhaling down. So make sure that you take the variation that works for whatever your state is this evening, whatever the condition that you might find your body this evening. All right, so now we'll do this together. Inhale, lift the hips, reach the arms up and overhead. Once you're there, empty yourself completely of breath. Now you're not breathing. Finding the contraction of the bandhas, beginning to lower down slow, not breathing, you're still empty. Once the tailbone hits the floor, you're still empty. Bring the arms alongside. And then release your bandhas and breathe in deeply. Filling up, emptying out. Just breathing, smoothing and evening the breath a few times. So what you're doing is creating a mudra with your body. And this one is called Tadani Mudra. We're going to be taking it 2 more times. When you're ready, inhale, lift the hips, reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale, empty yourself out. Find your bandhas and begin to lower the spine, 1 vertebra at a time. Remember, you're not breathing. Once the tailbone is on the floor, hold the breath out as the arms come alongside. And then release those squeezes and breathe on in. Let that breath flow in, that beautiful, blissful breath, bringing you closer and closer to that idea of yourself as this spacious awareness. Last round. Inhale, lift. Exhale all the breath out. Find the bandhas and lower. Release the squeezes once the arms are down and breathe on it. Bring the soles of your feet together and drop the knees out to the side for Supta Baddha Konasana. One hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. Feeling that soft and gentle rise and fall of belly. Aware of the softly beating heart, the hand that's on the heart. You can simply rest here as a spacious awareness, observing the body breathing. If you feel like you need to bring yourself to a little bit deeper calm, feel free to use that 1-to-2 ratio breathing, which will help to move you more deeply towards the parasympathetic state. Whichever count that you choose, making the exhalation twice as long as your inhale, or simply observing your natural state, witnessing your body breathe. Taking one more round of whichever breath that you are experiencing in this moment. And when you are complete, you bring your hands to the thighs, squeeze the knees together. And then extending out through the left leg, hugging the right knee in. Give yourself a nice tight squeeze that will release hip and hip flexor. And then bringing the big toe to the left thigh, arms out to the side. You're just gonna rock the right knee over and then back up towards the ceiling. Rock the right knee over. So like you're going halfway into the twist, but then you're rocking back up. So just a little bit more of a massaging action. Just do that 1 or 2 more times before you go into the full twist. Once you're ready, you can slide the hips a little bit more to the right, crossing right knee over to the left, and then hold static for just a few breaths here in your spinal twist. Slowly bringing your head back to center, unwinding, shifting the hips back to the center of your mat. So then extending out through the right leg, hugging the left knee in. Give yourself a nice squeeze. Feel that release at hip and hip flexors. And then bringing your left big toe to your right thigh, arms out to the side. And just rocking the knee halfway over to the right and back. And just do that a few times, massaging out the glutes, the hips, the lower back. Rocking halfway over and back up to center. And do that 1 or 2 more times until you're ready to come into full spinal twist. Once you do that, you might like to shift your hips a little bit more to the left And bringing the left knee across, turn it over to the right, turning your head away from the knee, if you like, and settling in for several breaths. Breathing into this final twist, softening chest, the shoulders down towards the floor. And then if you turn your head, bring head to center, bring hips to center, shifting the hips back to the center of your mat. You might like to pass through happy baby or any other pose that your body is calling out for. Take a few moments, several breaths for any final pose that feels right for your body. And take as much time as you need, but when you're ready, you'll be heading into Shavasana. Rocking gently or completing the pose that you are working on. And slowly beginning to make your way into a position for final relaxation, Shavasana. Take all the time that you need to get comfortable in your position. Remember, there's no rush. You can take time to get blankets, place something under your head, under your knees. And then once you have a position that feels right for you, you're going to surrender yourself completely down into the floor, down into the earth. We're finding this complete surrender now of body and breath. It may take a few moments to find that full surrender. And really letting everything go now. Let the body be effortless. Effortless breath. Surrender all doing. You are not the doer. You are the one who observes body, mind, and breath. Observe everything releasing, surrendering, unwinding. Observe whole body softening. Be effortless. As you continue to release and surrender, see if you can experience in real time in this relaxation, Shavasana. Experience yourself as spacious awareness and let yourself rest. Start to bring your awareness back to your body. As you land back into your body, lying here on the floor, notice the space that you take up, how you fill the space around you. I'm aware of the sensation of the clothes on your skin. Just the sensation of any air that touches the face, the exposed hands or feet, arms. As you begin to become present again to the breath that's already flowing through, really tap into this idea of yourself as the spacious awareness, as the truth, the very essence of your being. And start to deepen the breath now, breathing more fully into the body and down towards the hands and the feet. Breathing down into the limbs. Taking a bigger inhalation. And exhale, sighing out. Making some movement now. Get a little life back in, toes and fingers, ankles and wrists. Make any other movements that feel good to wake you back up before you roll gently to the side. Spend a few moments of transition on your side. Pressing palms firmly into the earth. Use your strong arms to press on up to sit. Make your way into a comfortable seated position. Once you have your seat, get long through the spine. A few moments we'll be oming together. And I want you to really think about the emphasis of the 3 syllables that make up Om, which is an A, a U, and an M. So it's a sound. And as you make those 3 sounds, they blend together to create that one sound that we know as Om. I want you to think on that first syllable, the energy moving from the tailbone to the heart center. And then once you are making more of that U sound, the energy from the heart center to the throat. And then when you find that sound, it'll be from throat to crown of head. So don't overthink it, just enjoy this beautiful vibration and essence, these 3 syllables of Om. But first, let's breathe in together. Exhale softly out. Breathing in. Breathing out. And inhaling to Om. And as you sit, and say that's the 4th sound, the silent vibration of Om, the crown of the head and above. That's you as spacious awareness connecting the whole of the universe, collective consciousness, divine goddess, God, whatever you would like, as you bring your hands together at heart center. Gratitude, gratitude for this practice that allows
you to experience yourself as spacious awareness so that you can connect to your something greater. Namaste.